Today on American Outlaw, are you prepared to defend your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your community, and your country? Guys, this video is not about entertainment. This right now is about life-saving mechanics and skills and equipment that you need. Stay tuned for the entertaining stuff. It's not over. We're bringing it back. If you watch this, you pay attention, you apply this to your life, I know we can count on you whenever this stuff falls apart. Civil war, national divorce.
Ben Shapiro floated the idea that our best hope now is a friendly separation of states.
World War III, Ukraine, Russia, Venezuela, a new mayor that's just elected into New York City that is absolutely socialist, communist.
Zoran Mamdani.
And he's saying that this is how he wants to rule everything. What is going on in the world, we don't know, but something is coming and you can feel it. Are you tactically squared away? Are you ready to go face an adversary to save your family, your friends, your community, or your country? Biggest sponsor of today's channel is Transcend. I'm like, 50 pounds down. I'm the best shape of my life. The BPC 157 has been unbelievable in healing my body. The NAD Plus gives me energy like I've never had. They make a special plan for you. You must carry a tourniquet. You are more likely to need a tourniquet or a fire hydrant than you are anything else. Always have a tourniquet, know how to use your tourniquet. There's lots of videos on it. This is life-saving material that doesn't even have to do with a gunfight. My brother he was scuba diving once and he slammed a knife all the way into his leg and a tourniquet. This is how you save lives. The second thing is, you have to carry a pistol every single day. You have to carry a gun. This America, it's your right to carry one. I'm carrying the Alchemy Custom Castor Troy gun. You know why? Because I thought, just in case the world goes to hell in a handbasket, I might want to at least look like the bad guy. What better than a gold gun? I do carry a 1911 on a daily basis, and the reason why is because of our great friend Clint Smith, and he said this.
At my age, I have no reason to carry a shitty gun.
I always carry 2 spare magazines. I carry Gold Dot. The reason I carry Gold Dot inside of my pistol is because it is, when I took an FBI vehicle and ballistics class, it was literally the very best ammo to shoot through car doors and shoot through car windows. My guns are always loaded because if you don't have one in the chamber, it's a dead man's gun. You gotta have a great leather gun belt. I like leather gun belts. Molds to your skin. One of these days you can hand it down to your grandkids and be like, hey, I wore this belt everywhere. This is from Mack Belts. If you go to Mack Belts and type in code Outlaw, you can save 10%. He's a Navy SEAL, started a belt company, and this is, for me, this is what I want for my EDC. It's what I carry every day. It's what I'll carry under any combat rig I have. I carry the Milt Sparks Summer Special. I've carried Kydex for a really long time. You can carry Kydex. There's not a wrong thing here. There's just carry one. I carry Milt Sparks because it seemed to rub better on my skin and mold to me better. Then I got a Milt Sparks pocket holster for pocket mag holster. I don't care what gun you carry. I care that you carry a gun every day, everywhere. Get up in the morning, put your gun on, keep it on all day throughout your house, take it off at the end of the night. As a matter of fact, being more tactically squared away, and this is how I do it, and I learned this from my friend James Yeager, at the end of the night, take off your pants and your belt, your gun belt, and your shoes, and leave your shoes, and drop those dirty pants and the gun and gun belt right there. So then that way, if something goes bump in the night, you throw this on and you slip your shoes on, now you're not going barefoot, and you have a pistol and a flashlight. Everybody's gotta have a flashlight. After I throw my pants on, I have my pistol, I have 2 magazines for reloads, I have a tourniquet and a flashlight, and I have shoes on. That's important because now I'm combat effective. I don't need a shirt. I just need to be able to move and get into the fight. It is important that you carry a gun all day, every day, and that is the first step to being tactically squared away. Now, let's look at the second step. Hallelujah. Plate carrier with your armor. Make sure you set your armor up correctly to where you're just underneath your, whatever this little bone piece is here. If you listen to countless gunfighters that have just done this and they fought the whole war on GWAT, side plates are huge, so I have my side plates. I push my side plates all the way up forward. You can wear them a little further back, however you like them. But I have a plate carrier and I have 3 magazines. Inside my magazines, One thing I don't have is I don't have 55 grain ball ammo. Right now, in this case, I have A1. This is the newest, hottest stuff out. It shoots really well through my rifles. It does really well on targets with terminal ballistic. And so I carry just these 3. I'm not trying to carry a full combat loadout right now. I carry just these 3. I actually bungee them all in. I know everybody thinks that this is gonna be some big speed reload. It's not. You're more likely to have some of this stuff bump and fall out while you're carrying it with you or moving from locations. So you want everything secured to you as tight as you possibly can. All right, your next thing in being tactically squared away is a great set of gloves. Now, my personal favorite set of gloves are from B-Team. If you guys don't know B-Team, check them out on Instagram. Army Ranger, I don't know, is he still? Yeah, Green Beret. He is can I say his name? I don't think I can say his name. B-Team is an awesome group. He is a great dude, and he came up with some amazing gloves. Now, they're leather. The reason I like them to be leather is if you had to fast rope or you're holding on to something, so you're a civilian, we're not gonna fast rope, right? We're just not. But we might be holding on to a truck. We might have to go over a barbed wire fence. Where I live in the high desert, there's stickers everywhere. So if I have to go prone, stickers and rocks, I like these leather gloves that are very limber, easy to use, and they make it where you can still fight very well. So I keep these gloves with me everywhere I go. Here's how you know, guys, if your gloves suck. Have you ever shot with your gloves? Have you ever made sure that you can get your finger into the trigger and be able to shoot your gun well? You need to not only have gloves, but use your gloves and shoot with your gloves, reload with your gloves, manipulate your slide with your gloves. They need to be like an extension of your skin. It's really important that you know your gear and you train in your gear a lot. Next thing is your rifle. I know that a lot of you guys are switching and you're saying, hey, I already have a combat rifle. We're gonna go over this to know if you really do or not. But what I see a lot of people doing is, you guys are saying, I love these old 20 inches with an ACOG. This is my go-to-war rifle. Or you're saying, nah man, I want the old school Colt with an EOTech and I don't need anything else. If you can't get it done with the Colt, you can't get it done. Or sometimes you're saying, I want the Danny Dietz clone. This is a 1-to-1 of Danny Dietz or 1-to-1 of Marcus Luttrell. I'm having one of those old school Navy SEAL guns with me everywhere I go. My clone is so badass because it was badass in 2006. It's gonna be badass in 2026. Or maybe you're saying, hey, I just love this Gucci stuff. So I want an old carry handle on there and I wanna be old school with a new school desert chocolate chip paint and get some of that Noveski drip on you. That's not what I'm choosing. I have all of that. Those are my guns. You know that I love guns. I am a collector of guns. I didn't even get most of these from YouTube. I got most of these from me buying them, especially my clones. I've got some amazing 1-to-1 clones. I can pretty much take whatever I wanted. But here's what I chose. It's actually, I guess, a 1-to-1 clone. So my time spent with the Army Rangers in quite a bit of, well, let's say recent training that we've done through my drone company, I'm seeing what they're using and why they're using it. And I'm like, hey, these are guys that are doing it for a living every single day. And I started getting their philosophy and I set the rifle up to me. And so remember, I told you multiple times, on your rifle, set the rifle up to you. Don't set it up like your favorite YouTuber did. Don't set it up like your famous SEAL Team 6 guy did. Set the rifle up to where it fits you so that when you are snapping this rifle out, you know everything about the rifle. You know how to get to the light switch. You know how to get to the laser. You know everything about this gun because it was set up to you, your hands, and how you feel and work the gun. I'm choosing an 11.5 with a Surefire suppressor. Why do I pick the Surefire? Still right now, this is probably the best on the market for flash suppression. There are a lot of quieter ones. This is not particularly a quiet silencer. And guys, I don't know how many times I've had to say this, and the number one thing that the military gets a silencer or a suppressor for is flash suppression. Number 2 is first round pop. Number 3 is how quiet is it? Because whenever you go in with 30 guys, yeah, not just not just 2 or 3 or 4 guys. When you go with 30 guys and you breach with breaching charges, both sides of the door, you wake everybody up in the house and the whole neighborhood. They're not trying to be quiet anymore. You might be trying to be quiet to get to the house. But once you're there, you're not quiet anymore. You're very dynamic, deliberate, violence of action. So this is for flash suppression. I don't want people to see me. I chose the 11.5 because it makes an overall 16-inch package, which makes me effective to the ranges that I'm going to be willing to engage somebody in, especially with a limited crew or limited training with the people in my neighborhood. But one of the most important things is I have changed all of my batteries. I change them all once a year. You should change all of them once a year. In your grip, you need to keep your spare Carter pin, a little bit of oil, your cam pin, everything that will make your bolt break or could break on your bolt, you keep it in your grip. Then inside the stock, if you have a stock, you can keep extra batteries or you keep it on your kit. But you need a gun that is zeroed. So I zero my rifles to 50 yards. Why? Inside of America, I think 5,200 is about where we're going to be. 36 is great. I actually think now, after I did that test, 100 may be where I probably should move them. I know where everything is on my gun and it is completely tied down and locked down. So you remember when I did this Mark 18 video linked below, how I showed you how to tie everything down on this gun, because as you're using this gun, and it's not just a decoration, you are using it and it is vibrating in the truck. It is beating up against your body all day. You are setting it down while you eat, while you sleep. Things will start to vibrate off. So everything is locked, tighted down, and it's tied down. So if my laser falls off, it's gonna be 550 corded and it's gonna be hanging down here. If my aim point falls off, it'll be 550 corded and hanging. It's really important that you are able to keep your stuff and it is locked down, because when it really matters and it isn't Call of Duty and it isn't fake anymore and you aren't going home, when it really matters, you don't want to lose anything on your gun. You don't want anything to come loose on your gun. You can pick any gun that you want. This is the one that I choose. This is the one that I have a lot of time on. But you pick any one you want. There's no wrong answer. A battle belt. Do you need a battle belt? Do you wear a battle belt? That's completely up to you. The reason I showed you the plate rig first with the Velocity Systems armor inside of it and my side plates is because I need to make sure that I'm not taking any rounds or any frag. Secondary rounds is a big deal. If you go to both current conflicts now, Ukraine or Israel, artillery rounds, frag, something blowing up and it hitting the wall and it coming down on you is a big deal. So you want protection, you want it really fast. Also, I think we have this misconception that immediately when you put this on, and whatever event you think is going to happen, Civil War, without rule of law, World War III, whatever it is, cartels, you immediately think now you are SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force, and you are going to get high value targets, and you're going to do speed reloads, you're going to breach, you're not going to do any of that. Again, I think probably the one that's most public, so maybe I won't get my balls busted for saying this, whenever they did Operation Neptune Spear and they went to go get Osama bin Laden, there were 79 total operators on that job to go get him. That's a big deal. The average for the US military is 5 to 1. So you're gonna get 25, 30, 35 guys showing up to hit one house. You're not doing it with you, you're not doing it with just your buddy, you're not doing it with 4 of your buddies. Like if you did, man, the CQB is stupid. And CQB is a very small portion of war. I was talking to a former Tier 1 Army SMU guy, and he was like, it's crazy to me how much people are fascinated with gear, CQB, and shooting, when that's like the last 10th of the mission. Now it is the most important 10th of the mission, but it's the last 10th. Everything to get you there and everything to get you back is really the mission, right? So I do have a combat belt. Now look, I use these. If you guys want like overall how I set them up, that's fine. But I use these. They're completely covered mag pouches from Ronin. The reason I do it is because, again, this stuff's gonna be in and out of my truck. It's gonna be in and out of other people's vehicles. I might have to walk with it. I might have to jump with it. Who knows? I can't have this stuff falling out. So I do have 2 pistol reloads and 1 rifle reload, but all of it is very much 100% Velcroed in and buckled down. If you are actually a gunfighter and you had to speed reload in the middle of a gunfight, give me a comment, tell me the story, please. I'm super interested in it. I haven't had any. I have heard of a couple where they had to transition to the pistol, but everything else, you should be timing your loads properly. And so what I need is my load to show up with me. I don't need to not have it, because I thought I was going to be doing some super high-speed low drag maneuver that I never did do, because I was either standing there all day or it was raining on me all day, and I want protection for the things that when that last 10% matters, I have it. I carry a Winkler knife on me. Son of a gun, this is a good time to introduce this. In the very first portion of my EDC, I always have a pocket knife. My grandfather used to tell me you can't be a man without a pocket knife. Now, I designed this pocket knife. It's called the Outlaw Mack. When I designed it, I didn't really think of the Nesamick when I had it in mind. I just thought of a knife that I can use for skinning, everyday use, hunting, tactical if I had to. And so I came up with this design. It is a pretty awesome design. You can actually get them now from a link below, but you need to carry an EDC knife every day. But I carry this Winkler belt knife. I took this one with me on both times I went, or all the times I went in both different areas of the world. I don't have this Winkler knife because I think I'm gonna get in a knife fight. I guess if I had to, I would. I carry this to open stuff, cut stuff. You'd be surprised how much you have to use a knife on a regular basis, and it's easier whenever you have it behind your back or on this outside of your belt. So it doesn't have to be a Winkler. They're expensive. An SE4 or a Cold Steel SRK are great knives that the military issues. I think those are great. You don't need a $500 knife. My holster is a Blackhawk USASOC Model T. I know the public can't get them, but they do have them, and Safariland also makes a great one. So you can get the Blackhawk Model T, or you can get the Safariland, and both of those are great holsters. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. I really enjoy this holster. It's pretty awesome. Notice I did not have a light on my everyday carry, but I do have a light on my tactical carry. Why? Because this could be my last line of defense. This could be, I've bailed off with everything else and now I'm running and I only have this. I have chosen a Glock 34 with an SRO. I don't have any sights on this. I've never had an issue with this pistol. I've got, I don't even know how many rounds, thousands and thousands of rounds down this pistol. I love it. I am so comfortable in shooting it that this is what I've chosen since I have used other guns for competition stuff. I carry the Glock 34. Again, there's not a wrong answer. Notice I don't carry the 1911 on this kit. I would, but I don't. And the reason why is because I'm still carrying an EDC and my EDC doesn't go in this kit. I may hand this belt to somebody else. If you have a red dot on and a Glock 34, this can potentially be a primary weapon if you don't have a rifle. So that's why I have this with me all the time. And then the 1911, I could either carry if I handed this one off, or I could hand that one off to somebody if maybe my belt didn't fit them. So I'm going to have multiple guns for multiple things. And I may not carry this belt at all, and I might just still have my regular EDC on me. Next, I have an OpsCore helmet. And inside the OpsCore helmet, you'll notice that I have PBS 31 night vision on. There are a lot of great night vision companies. You don't have to get L3 Harris. These are really expensive, 13, 14 grand. I have a Wilcox mount on there. I have a white light and an IR light. Why do I have the vamp? Why do I have the IR portion of this? Because if it's really dark outside, your night vision's not going to work as good, so you turn on the IR and it floods and you can see really good, especially if you have to work on a project. So because we work with drones a lot, I can turn this on and really light up my drone while I'm working on it. And it's a little bit harder than you think to have dexterity and depth perception while you're working on something under nods, so you should practice that. If you own nods, you need to practice a lot. You need to practice using them. You need to practice running with them. You need to practice putting things together with them. I have the battery pack for it, and I have the Ear Pro, and these are the 3M Pelter. I think they're Contact 5s, maybe Contact 6s. And they do Bluetooth where we can talk back and forth. This helmet is a ballistic helmet. Bump helmets are cool for jumping out of airplanes. They're cool for rappelling, but if you don't have anything else, you still need the helmet, so have your bump helmet, but you need a ballistic helmet because you never know what's gonna hit you in the head. And like I said, your head, your eyes, your ears, your hands, your feet, those are really important to keep you alive and moving to stay alive. So this is a critical portion of something that you need. A GPS. Guys, I keep this GPS. I can take this GPS off and I can either put it on my wrist or I can leave it up here on my kit. You wanna put it, if you're gonna leave it on your kit, you wanna put it on your non-dominant side so that your rifle doesn't hit it. But this is also where a PTT goes. And so note, I don't have any communications on this equipment right now because I'm giving you the hasty, this is what you need as an American to be prepared to be a basic rifleman for civil unrest or civil war, whatever you think is coming. Somebody will have comms, you should have comms in your package. I have MPU-5s because I own a company that has them, so my group would use MP5s, which is encrypted comms. I highly recommend Beartooth to you. I think you can still get 40% off with code Outlaw, but if you have those comms that are encrypted where you can't be heard, that's really important. The likelihood of you staying exactly where you are is very slim. Something happens, civil unrest, civil war, World War III, you're likely going to move from your neighborhood to go take care of the problem, move maybe from your county or from your state. I know some of you are like, no, I'm from Texas, I'm never leaving Texas. No, man, you're from America, and so I don't care if they land in California and we need help. We have to keep them out because if they get from California to Texas, you ain't making it, bro. Like you ain't making it. So we're all Americans, even though some of us are a little crazier than others and our politics are really bad, but we are going to fight for America. So you might find yourself in a place that you don't know where you're at, or you might need directions somewhere. Having a great GPS is really important. This is 30 loaded magazines. 30 loaded magazines with duty ammo. Stop carrying 55 grain. Stop it. Stop. Stop being a cheap ass. You go get you good ammo. 70 grain Barnes, 77 Sierra Match King, Black Hills, 69 grain Sierra Match King. Get something that is actually going to be effective when you're shooting it so you don't have to shoot your target as much. But why do I carry 30 mags? I already hear you guys saying, oh my gosh, Outlaw, you can't carry 30 mags everywhere you go. That's not feasible. That's not right. That's 1,000 rounds. I agree. I can't do it. But you know what I can do? I can count on you when you show up not having your magazines loaded. I can count on that. Now I can hand you a magazine. Hey, Jimmy, Jack.
Swimmy, Slippy.
Whatever. Everybody take one of my magazines right now and load your gun. Okay, now let's get a defensive position to where we're guarding each other. Okay, now everybody load their magazines. Okay, now give me my 30 back. And then I leave this 30 inside the car. Or maybe we're all humping it and there's multiple of us, right? And so maybe we've got 10 or 12 guys and we're moving somewhere. Then we spread out an extra 30 mags. And so maybe one guy just carries them all in a backpack, which is why I have a backpack. I can dump all of these inside this backpack, throw some water in here, and I can carry these. And then that way, when we're in the midst of it, maybe something happened, a conflict happened, a tick, and we're out of the 3 magazines that we're carrying, or the 4 on our side, 5 in the gun, however it is you're carrying them. And now I can just strip my backpack off or turn around and let everybody grab magazines out, everybody reload. I'd say the average American, 4 to 10 magazines. At a bare minimum, you need 30 loaded magazines with duty ammo that never gets touched, at a bare minimum. And they always loaded with all 30 rounds and don't touch them. I know 28 rounds if you're one of those guys, but I just load 30. So that is critical. It's very important. Now, the last and the most important thing that you guys need, and it's really important. Again, I'm doing this because there are things that make life better. Night vision, thermal. I had the night vision on here. You don't have to have it. Thermal on your rifle, sniper rifles. There are just so many other things that you can add, and we'll do those in later videos, but a great set of binoculars. They don't have to be expensive. They need to be about a 10 power. And the reason you guys need binoculars is because you have no idea how much you need to see. I remember whenever I was in Ukraine, the one thing that everybody was like just truly looking for was binoculars. Everybody wanted them, and if you had them, you were taking them out. And if I had them and somebody else was going out and I wasn't, they could have the binoculars. You need to see. You need to be able to see into windows. You need to be able to see where you're going. You need to be able to look for things that might be out of place. So having a set of binoculars in this is critical. What is your role? I know you think you're SEAL Team 6. I know you think you're Delta Force. But the truth is, you don't have that training. You haven't done CQB with a team multiple times every day in and out. If you get a bunch of Navy SEALs that retired together, they could probably figure it out, but they need to do a few dry runs to see how each other works. Same thing with Army guys. You get them in there, they do CQB a little bit different. They can figure it out, but they need to do a few dry runs to see how it works. If you're the average civilian that has played paintball or you've played air gun stuff, I applaud you for that because I do think you learn a lot. I think you learn a lot of tactics for that are critical. But the truth is, you've never went into a room to go get a guy with a gun. You've never went to go chase a guy down that is shooting back at you, because the courage that takes is a lot. It's way up here. And if you think about a military team, they have a drone, and the drone's been watching this guy for 3 days. They know everybody that's on the compound. They know where they went. They know when they run. They know when they don't. They know when you take them out and dispatch the target. They know when you don't. You're coming up with 30 dudes. All of those guys are highly trained, highly competent. They'll eat cornflakes out of your skull, and they're taking down this target. That's not what you're going to do. Do you know what you're really going to do? You're going to take guard shifts where you're going to guard your neighborhood. You don't want them to come to your house, so your house is a tough one. You want to be further out than your house, because if they get that close, you've already lost. So you might be guarding your neighborhood or your county. You might be running around as a police officer, right? One of the first things that I would do in something that happened like that is go to the local police and have them deputize me. So now I might be running around with cops trying to keep people from civil unrest. Oh, wait a minute, I would just be at home waiting for people to come. If you're at home waiting for people to come and you're not actively trying to fix this problem, then you are a part of the problem, and a problem is coming to take you out a little bit later. Because let me tell you something. People aren't magic. Bullets aren't magic. You are very easy to dispatch. I am very easy to dispatch. It can happen like that. And if there is more than one guy, the chances of you surviving are nothing. Like they're slim to none. So you got to quit thinking I can just hide from everybody, and you got to start thinking, no, I need to protect my community. I need to rebuild the community. Now, after I have the community secure, we've got all of the bad players out, then I need to worry about my county, and after the county, the next county, before you know it, the state. And so you'll say you're from New Mexico, you've secured New Mexico, got the governor in place, and everything is good. Now you can work your way over to Texas. That's the bigger mindset that I would be looking at, rather than I'm going to hide over here in the hills, or the big cities are going to riot. They're not going to do anything to me. None of that's true. When those big cities start rolling out, they're going to roll you over. If you look at any conflict ever, take Afghanistan. The higher you got out in Afghanistan, the taller the walls got. The closer you got into the city, the shorter they got. Why? Because there's no protection out there. Same thing in Ukraine. The Russians wiped out everybody that was out there by themselves, because you get 10, 12, 15 dudes that are going to take out a family, they're gone like that. So your idea of I'm going to go hide in the bush and they're never going to find me, maybe, but probably not. You're just trying to protect what you have and keep your family alive. When I say protect what you have, I don't mean your property. You may need to leave your property. That's okay. Americans have a real bad fixation on, this is my property. I paid for it. Nobody can have it. Nah, dude, if you're trying to kill my family over it, I just want to get my family out of there, and you can have that. I'll come deal with you at another time, or the law enforcement can deal with, however that works. Somebody else will deal with you, but right now I'm not, because I'm not in the position to beat you when you come do that to me. Get that pride out of your head. Now you have to start thinking, the reality is I'm going to guard the gate. I'm going to guard my people. I'm going to go and start helping people who are injured. And so I want to be light. I want to be nimble. I want to be able to move fast. I want to have my stuff. Notice I didn't say any multicam or Cry Precision. I didn't. I don't even have a multicam plate carrier, because this looks more like a sheriff's deputy. That's where I want to be. I want to look like Homeland Security, local law enforcement. I don't want to look like SEAL Team 6, coming to the rescue, because that's not who I am. That's not my skill set. It's not what I do. Even if you have a former SEAL Team 6 guy, that's not what he does anymore because he doesn't have his team there. He doesn't have the drone and the artillery round and the air support. None of that's there. So that's why we're so deadly as a country, is because of all of the support that goes around the operator. We don't have that now. So you have to be very careful. You understand your role, be humble, have your kit ready, have your rifle zeroed, pack your bags, and load your mags.